missed our chats.
It has been a while.
It has.
I am so glad to see you.
We had a super fun time in December, but I'm glad you're back.
I had so much fun watching you have such a super good time in December because I did too.
Cool. I'm glad it was fun for everybody.
Oh, I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Awesome. But welcome back.
Yay.
Yay. You have lots to show because it's been a while since you've been here.
That is the advantage to not podcasting as quickly. I have some things.
This will be a Jill show and tell.
Oh boy. It's kind of the same thing on repeat. DK socks, repeat, DK socks, repeat.
That's awesome though. And I will say that you've got me converted to DK socks, at least for right now.
And I can't.
And can we just talk about that first? Let's just talk about that first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, let's first talk about what you're wearing.
Oh, there's a kindergarten song. It's like, what are you wearing? I'm not a singer. What are you wearing? What are you wearing today? You know, and if you have blue, da 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 da. So anyway. Okay.
And Jill was an elementary school teacher for quite a while.
I guess you have to have that background theory. Yes, I am wearing my Felix and I'm so excited. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful?
It's lovely. Scoot your chair up and show us those raglan.
I love it so much. It has these open lace raglan repeats on the arms. I blocked my neckband pretty aggressively because I love a boat neck.
Okay.
And it was a little bit tight for me, so I blocked this pretty aggressively. I know. Tubular cast on, tubular cast off.
Okay.
And the waist too. I also added several inches to the body just because I wanted my sweater to be a little bit longer than the pattern.
Yeah, and that's the value of, you can do what you prefer.
I didn't understand. I understood when people said, oh, I want to knit another one. Really, until you wear a sweater that you love, love, love. Oh my gosh.
And that you've also enjoyed the process of making yourself.
Very much so. You get to customize it. You know, I like boat necks, so I'm going to block it a little bit this way, and I wanted it longer, so I'm going to make it a little bit longer. I like this color, so that's what I chose.
And that yarn, tell everybody what that yarn is.
This is Barocco Ultra Wool Chunky.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
I know. It's all needlepoint.
And you got that at Needlepoint Joint when we were there in the fall.
I did. I knew that I wanted to make the sweater, but I wasn't quite sure. And they were awesome. I needed 6 skeins. They kept running downstairs to find that one extra skein that was the same dye lot.
Fantastic.
So grateful.
Yeah. That's amazing. This is not new, but people will ask. So I'll just say this is the Inara wrap designed by Amba O'Brien. And this is in, of course I'm going to blank. It's been a minute since I made this, probably 3 years at least. So anyway, I'll put the link to my Ravelry project page in the video description.
It's a good color in you.
Thank you.
I know.
Everything goes with the black t-shirt.
I love it. And it'll be on your Ravelry page too, right? Yeah. So people can go there.
Yeah, if they want. Sure.
Yeah. This is so toasty. Oh, and the other thing I love about it, I know, I can make the arms as long as I want them to be.
I know, which is important for those of us that are more than 5'6".
I like a sleeve that comes all the way down.
Me too.
I really, really do. A little bit long. Other people would think this is a little bit long. I love it. So I know.
You did a wonderful job. And I remember when you were like, I don't know if I can knit a sweater. Now look at you. You've made several.
I will tell you though, I had to unpick about half of the bottom cast off, which was an experience. And then the same for the first sleeve. Okay. Because when you do the tubular cast off, they really kind of warn you don't pull too tight.
Right.
So I did not pull too tight. Mine was so loose.
Oh, it flared out on you?
Yeah. Okay. It just
Okay.
didn't look good.
So that's
So
all right though. You learned from that and you were able to fix it and it wasn't a crisis.
mm-mm.
And you know what? We all do it. I'll tell you a story in a minute about fixing. Yeah.
That sounds ominous.
It kind of is.
Oh, that's present tense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, which one?
Okay. I'll go next since we're
Yeah.
talking about sweaters.
Yes.
Okay. The sweater that the Maja cardigan that I'm trying to finish for my eldest daughter who's headed back to college in about, I don't know, next weekend. I am on the neckline of hers. Okay. So here's this.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Okay. So I'm on the neckline of hers. The yoke is completed and you bind off the center steeking stitches. And then I'm just knitting the ribbing now for the neckline. And then we'll cut this and then, do the button band, the ribbing for the button band here. Okay.
Mhm.
So this is all fine. And I got to this. Okay. I'll say, so you see how the motifs are. The other
Right.
sweater, which is that, the burgundy and the gray and all that people have been seeing on the videos. The only reason I'm telling the story is because people think that like people relatively accomplished knitters. I mean, I don't think I'm accomplished.
Oh.
I think I'm kind of an upper intermediate knitter, but people think that it's all smooth sailing. No, we all still have problems for one reason or another. So you see how you have the body and then you have the zigzaggy part here. And then you have these like leaves or arrows or whatever that is supposed to be.
Mhm.
All right. So all of this is a multiple of 8.
Okay.
These little sections, but the motif on the chart is a multiple of 16. Okay. On the other one, not this one, but on the other one, I got to where this middle part starts and realized something was way wrong, like way wrong. Because you do have some decreases here and you have some decreases here for the yoke shaping.
Right.
And all this is a multiple of 8. Well, this is the full multiple of 16. So you could still be cruising along thinking everything is just fine as long as you still have a multiple of 8. But if you don't have a multiple of 16, you're going to realize it right here, which is what happened. Because I'm knitting 2 sweaters at once that are 2 different sizes.
Oh my gosh.
I got confused how many stitches I was supposed to have when I joined all this up and started the color work motif to start of the chart. I got confused how many stitches I was supposed to have. Whoopsie. So I got to here and then I was like, what in the blinkety blink blink. Yeah. And finally figured out what I had done wrong and had to rip back to here.
Oh.
So
let me ask you this.
So that is why this particular sweater is only this far now.
Oh.
That's why it's only right here, right now.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Because I had to tear back and correct what But that's why viewers notice a different color on the video. The different color sweater that I was filming with, I'm like, well, I'm not going to get. So I had to do the last video tutorial with this sweater about the short rows in the back. I used this sweater for my demonstration on the video rather than the one I have been using all this time. And that's why.
Oh my gosh. It's real life. So let me ask you, like, mine would have had to sit in timeout for a little bit, even if I knew I was going to do that. What does yours have to sit for a little bit or
For an afternoon?
Okay.
And I went and got, some other stuff done. And I went and did some farm work and, got myself over it. and then I watched a show that I've been wanting to watch. I've been watching a show that's new to me. And so I just ripped while I watched my show and wound up the colors and, made little balls, which I will obviously spit splice the wool back together and it'll be fine. Pain in the
Oh my goodness.
Happens.
I know. What are you going to do?
But I think that part of growing as a knitter is overcoming those mess ups and just being like, you know what? I like to knit. It's fine. It'll be fine. And that's one reason I really have always loved knitting is because it's fixable, right? It's not like painting a mural. Well, I guess technically that's fixable too, because you could just cover it all up with different paint and start over. But I'm just saying.
Well, and that's it. You know, when I was looking at the bind off on the bottom, I'm like, well, I could leave that. I could. Do I want to? No. And there are things that I left in items.
But you just have to decide what you can live with.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
So that's where the 2 sweaters in progress are at this moment. Yeah.
Wow.
It'll be fine.
It will be.
And then you remember from the podcast how Anne convinced me that I should do the cable trellis shawl?
Yes. You didn't take a lot of convincing. Which is the way it is with good yarn and good patterns and good friends. You know, that would be an interesting thing. How many people have knit something they did not intend to knit because of a friend?
Right. Yeah. So we're doing it.
Look at that.
Yeah. So that's been a lot of fun too. And see how you have the, the cables in between here. And just now is when we're starting to make diamonds. So I've just split this off and it'll start making like the, trellis. Right.
Wow.
So that's been fun.
The yarn that you're using for that?
I didn't have DK or worsted in colors that I thought would look good together. So as I said earlier, if people didn't see the podcast, I'm knitting, I'm holding double fingering. So what I did was take the 2 strands and wind them together and make a giant cake.
Oh, I remember watching that. And that's the hazel knits.
This is the hazel knit and the colorway is called Smoldering. And then this is called Market Day by Up North Yarns.
That's so pretty. I like the pops of color within the gray.
And it's making super squishiness. Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, yes. It'll be warm too.
Mm-hmm. So I kind of morphed this into whips, but show your FOs if you want.
My FOs, I have some socks and I cannot wait because I want to wear them. We know these are a girl in her wool, and this is the October colorway.
Ooh, yeah, it's been a while since we've seen you. Oh, that's lovely. That is super cool.
Yeah. I love them a lot.
And those are DK, her sock DK. And that was the October monthly mystery colorway. Love that.
They are all on my Ravelry page for how much I did which. And then November.
Nice.
October, I'm on the quest for like the perfect sock for me.
Yeah.
So
every experiment, see what you like.
I tweak something. So this had a shorter leg.
Yeah.
And then this had a little bit longer leg. Oh, isn't that color pretty?
And you're knitting that's lovely. Oh, that's beautiful. And you're knitting all of these cuff down.
Yes, I am knitting them all cuff down.
Heel flap and gusset.
Yep. Next month, I'm going to use your toe up tutorial, and it's probably time for me to like up my skills again. So
it's fun to experiment a little bit.
It is. And there's December.
That's lovely.
I like them so much.
Beautiful.
All that depth of color.
Yes.
And how she plays on it again in the grays.
Yep. Fantastic. Yeah. So here's my question. Here's what I'm considering, since I didn't switch my club membership to DK until January.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that same colorway from December, but mine's in fingering. But I'm really digging the DK situation because it's faster and it's cold here. So I'll tell you what I'm considering doing, but I'm a little hesitant. So I'll ask the internet land. Okay, I'm considering knitting this, holding it double, and making it DK-ish, splitting it in half for 2 cakes and doing that. However, what I'm concerned about doing that for socks, when, it's one thing for a shawl where it's not going to be on the ground, you're not going to have friction, You know what I mean? What I'm concerned about is if I do that with socks and I have 2 strands that are knitted together, if I knit it in a fairly tight fabric, small enough gauge, will those 2 strands rub together and cause friction and wear holes faster, or will it be okay? I don't know. I might have to just try it and see. See what I'm saying?
Do you see what you're saying? I know that our friend Lindsay
Mhm.
is knitting a pair of socks holding fingering double. They're
Right.
called Thickness by Summerly Knits.
Right.
She's loving that, but she hasn't had them long enough
Right.
to
To
test her
wear them,
hypothesis.
to wear them and see. So I would be interested if anybody's tried that in the
Mhm.
comments. Do you found that tell me if you found it made any difference in the durability and the length of, I mean, obviously it depends on your gauge and, whether you're doing a slip stitch reinforced heel or a different kind of heel. I may just try it. I may just take one of, like, I have enough fingering, I could try it.
What a fun experiment.
Yes. Okay. So I know that Lauren has already showed, so we can too.
Yeah. Do you have yours?
Yes. So these are our January club mystery sock club DK. I switched to DK. So I'm doing toe up with the seam free rounded toe by Lynn Ashton. I'll put the link down. I'll just put to the link to my project page. And then I'm going to do the fish lips kiss heel again. And I made my foot and where I start the heel, because I've only done it once. So I kind of want to do it again and see. My first time I did it worked out really well. So I want to do it again here, but this is lovely. I'm just digging it. Aren't you digging that contrast?
It is. It's so, so pretty.
Oh, look at you. You're already turning the heel. Yeah, but your leg of your sock is not as big as my foot.
No. Well, I have.
Oh, you already have the other one done? Holy smokes, knitter friend.
I was thinking today how knitting is soothing for the soul.
It is.
I was listening to a book and the main character was actually going to do calculus. And she talked about how when she got into the numbers and she just got into the way the numbers played, it was predictable and she knew what she had to do and she had to focus just enough to figure it out, but it put everything else away. So that's, I think, what I'm attributing it to is knitting helps you put everything else away.
Unless you're, ripping out a yoke that you messed up.
Yeah, that's not as much fun. No.
But if you're doing vanilla socks like we are and you're watching your favorite show at the moment, then that's pretty. That's
and then, look, don't you love it when your bag matches your knitting?
I do.
It's the best.
Show us the finished one. Because that sock. Yes.
I don't know. I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Oh, I love that. So pretty.
I love it so much. Let me get it close so you can see all the pieces.
Ooh, yours, I feel like yours is more pinky.
Mine is paler than yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine is more pinky than yours.
That's cool. See, that's the value of hand dyeing. Everything's a little bit different.
We noticed that in the skeins when we sent pictures of
Beautiful. I know. It's so funny because you don't live in the middle of nowhere. You live closer to, like, a metropolitan area. You always get your yarn like a day or two before me. And Jill will message me. She'll be like, "Did you get it yet?" And I'm like, "No."
I won't tell you if you don't have it yet. No way. Don't want to spoil the surprise. Sad not
One time I got mine before you though. And I don't know how that happened.
The post office had accidentally opened it because I got this letter of this has been opened already. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope my yarn is okay.
I hope your minis arrived, but it was fine.
It was all fine. It was all good. Nope. So these were supposed to be for my daughter because she has a birthday in February and the colors were very, very her. And I counted on the ones I had done a few months that were too small, counted the leg, thought, okay, or foot, counted the foot, did the same thing for the foot. I'm like, these are looking kind of big. So I went to try them on. They fit me perfectly. And I was trying to figure out what happened. The other one, I shorted the heel about 3 rows. So you short that heel and then it has a more of an impact too on the gusset and everywhere else.
Right, because
So,
the heel flap is the determining, just for viewers, the heel flap, if you don't know this, geometrically is the determining factor for the circumference of the gusset and how many stitches you pick up and how lengthy your gusset is, how big around. So the circumference and how many rows it will take to get back down to your cast on number or the number you desire for the foot. So that absolutely impacts all the rest.
I know. So sadly, happily, these get to be mine, not hers.
Unless, as I could point out, you could have ripped it back and made it shorter.
So we talk about when it's okay and when it's not okay. And I decided that was going to be okay because I really like those socks.
And I'm sure you have other yarn that your daughter will enjoy.
Well, I saw the picture for February, so I'm thinking that those will end up being hers.
And that's her birthday month. So yay.
Yeah. So I'll still get it done, I believe. So.
Because you did get your son's done.
Mm-hmm. That took a little bit
Fingering
of time.
weight, big boy feet.
Mm-hmm. Loves them. I'm super happy.
That's awesome. Okay, so that's pairs number 1. Oh no, you showed October. Okay, nope, that was all 3. You showed October, November,
Yep.
December, and then you have your January ones on the needles.
Yes. So those are all my socks. So I did a bunch of socks. I finished my sweater.
Woo!
I know. I did
a bunch of you did some Christmas things too.
I did not, save them. I sewed a little bit. I did a hat. I had done a hat for someone a couple years ago. Now she has a little. And I made a matching hat for the little.
That's so cute.
I know. It turned out really cute. I like it a lot.
So if people are interested at all, I did knit some socks in December, but unlike Jill, I don't have the discipline to wait to wear them until we meet next to podcast. So I will put the link down below to my Ravelry page because they're in the laundry at the moment. And then the others that I finished for my daughter before she goes back to college are on her feet this very day. So
which is awesome.
We did not plan well, but they're on my Ravelry. And they were on my Instagram too. So
I'm really hard on my socks. I'm afraid if I wear them before we podcast, I have not mastered the right fit and gauge for me. So like, for example, the very first ones that I knit were much too loose and they are wearing quickly. I have.
Yeah, because the fibers are too free to move around and rub against each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm working on this. I am knitting this is DK and I'm knitting this with a US 1.5 or a 2.5 millimeter. So it's dense, and I could probably go up to a 2 because it's still, even though this is a DK weight yarn, I am still 7 stitches per inch.
I knit mine on US 2s, which is a
2.75 I cannot speak, millimeter.
Yep. And I did not put my stitches per inch in my Ravelry piece, which I really should do.
Yeah.
So helpful. So that's what I have. And I have a hat on the needles too.
Show us.
I am knitting for the first time with Malabrigo Rasta, which is super bulky. I mean, and that's about half of the skein.
That's big.
Could have brought the full skein. I have a full skein across the room.
Big.
They're huge.
And it's only 130 yards or something?
It's so soft. Let's see how many yards it is. There's somebody out there who already knows it. They're telling us from their television.
I'm sure.
90 yards.
Wow.
150 grams, 90 yards, super bulky, 100% superwash merino.
So is that 2.5 stitches per inch?
It is a lot. And I don't know if I have enough done that you're going to be able to see the pattern yet.
What size needles are those?
Oh, good grief. They are 15s. You do the ribbing on 13s and then the rest on 15s. This is called the Sidewinder beanie.
Oh, that's cute.
By Aspen Knits.
Okay.
I love it a lot.
And that is some bright yarn.
It is, and it is not quite as bright as this is making it out to be. It is quite bright.
Oh yeah, though. You can see the pattern emerging.
Yes.
Yeah. That's cool.
And I learned a new stitch.
Wow.
I had to do a right twist.
Okay. And that's moving along really quickly, isn't it?
It really is. It feels different on my hands.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. To go from like 2.75 millimeter to US 15, which is a 9-10 millimeter. Wow.
Didn't used to bother me. I can feel it after knitting with it a little bit this time.
Wow.
I
Crazy.
know.
So what's next? What's your next, like, you're going to knit February socks when it comes.
Mm-hmm.
And are you going to do another do you have another bit larger project planned?
I do have another sweater planned. I am going to do the Mycroft by Isabel Kramer.
Ooh, that's cool.
Isn't that pretty?
It is.
Yeah.
And what yarn do you think you'll?
Originally, I have it across the room. I'm thinking I showed it the last time.
Okay.
Did I? It's a
sounds right, but I don't know.
Nano Stel Uruguay,
and
it's like a lettucey green color.
Ooh, I vaguely remember that, but show us again.
Okay, so right out of iShot 2, this is a full skein of that Malabrigo Rasta.
That's as big as your head.
The size of my face. And then
wow. And that's what you're going to knit, the Mycroft.
Yes.
Wow. So do you think the Mycroft, is that a reference to the Sherlock Holmes TV, PBS Masterpiece Theater, Sherlock Holmes? Isn't Mycroft his brother?
I don't know.
Or maybe I'm getting the name wrong and I'm just confused. Oh, is a possibility. I thought Mycroft is Sherlock's brother in the Masterpiece Theater production. Huh. That was really good, though, if you haven't seen it. Yeah.
You said you were watching a really good show right now. What are you watching?
Oh, I have several. Okay. I'll tell you about 3.
Okay.
That makes it sound like I'm watching ones I can't tell you about, which is not true, but okay. Interestingly, and these have been around for a while. I just haven't been on my radar. There's a series called Who Do You Think You Are? And it's about the celebrities who have their family trees researched by professional genealogists. And I just find it really interesting because in my own family tree, there are some mysteries and people that are just plain missing. Like missing. So, yeah. Anyway, so it's intriguing and it's made me kind of want to dig back into that and find the missing people, because it's not even that far removed from my generation that is the mystery. So it's hard to go any further back if you don't have that one, that one rung of the ladder. You can't go. Yeah, we're missing a pretty significant branch in the tree. Anyhow, so that's been really interesting to try to do that. So I've been just kind of sucked into those episodes, and it's not like, some of it is. There was one episode where this woman found out that there was like a murderer in her family. And yeah, I was like, what? Anyway. Right. And then another one I've been watching is, I think it's on Paramount Plus. Do you remember when The Good Wife with the lawyer story, and why am I blanking on the actress's name? She has curly hair and it's black curly hair, and she used to be in ER. What's her name?
I don't know.
Something Margulies.
I am not the person
Okay,
to ask
whatever.
about that. But I could
Anyhow, it's a
Google it.
spinoff. This new show is a spinoff because after The Good Wife ended, this was a spinoff of some of the same characters, and it's called The Good Fight. And
Oh, cool.
so it's several years old, and there's lots of seasons. So anyway, I just started watching that. Sometimes I like a good lawyer show. And then the other one is like, I know a lot of people right now are watching Yellowstone with I can't think of his name either.
Kevin Costner.
Thank you.
You know that
I
one.
almost said Kevin Bacon. I'm like, well, that's not right.
6 Degrees.
I need to eat is the reason my brain isn't functioning so well. Anyhow, so a lot of people are into that right now, and I'm not watching that. I'm watching the prequel to that. So it's about the Dutton family before they ever made it to Montana and to the Yellowstone region. So it's about the Oregon Trail and where that whole family started and where they came from.
Was this the one like from 1865, like Faith Hill, or?
The name of the show is 1883.
Okay.
And cool. Yes, it has Faith Hill and what's his face, her husband.
Tim McGraw?
Yeah, him.
Okay.
I'm not a country music person either.
I say it really quiet. Why I say it really quiet, like if I say it louder, it's going to be wrong. And I say it quieter, and it's going to be okay.
It's okay to be wrong if you're quiet.
I don't know. Apparently so. I am not. And you know that I am not a huge TV watcher.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So anyway, that show, for viewers, disclaimer, that is not in front of your kids.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
But it's interesting, and it only comes out like every Sunday, I think. So I'm going to start making a deal with myself that I only get to watch it when I'm on the treadmill or something. I need some kind of a, incentive to get myself back on the treadmill when the weather's crap. So
you have had more than your fair share of weather. Holy cow.
Yeah. But I always say if our weather was better, more people would live here, and we don't want that.
Too people-y.
Yeah. So you have a sweater planned, and you can cast that on. You don't have that much in progress. Like you could cast that on.
No,
soon.
I have Advent yarn that will go for, yes, I have some. I know.
That was the Anne of Green Gables.
From Tippy Tree Yarns.
12 days of Christmas. Okay. Well, yeah. Show us.
12 days and then a full.
Oh,
now I put some of them in.
Oh, here. Look how pretty.
I can't tell you what I loved more. My daughter opened them with me because we listened on audiobook to the 9 books of Anne of Green Gables.
Yeah.
And so when we were opening them, we had a ball, like with the names.
That's so neat.
One was called like The Depths of Despair, and if you read the books, you knew. I mean, she was so dramatic.
Right.
There was one called Tragical Romance. Because she loved to make up the stories, and Kindred Spirits.
Oh.
And so it was really, really cool. The yarn is beautiful.
Yes.
Itself. And then the names brought up all these memories and stuff. And so my daughter and I will play and do socks. Like we'll each have stripy socks.
Okay.
Originally, I thought we were going to have matching stripy socks, but now I think we're each going to pick our own based on the names of the colors.
Oh,
it's like what are your favorite parts?
You have plenty of yardage to knit to pair.
Very much so.
Oh, yeah.
So like this is called Diana, who's her best friend.
Right.
This is raspberry cordial after an unfortunate episode in one of the books. And this one is bosom friends. So you can see how all the colors play together.
And you could decide if you wanted a solid to be the heel. You could plan that so that it comes out that way in your. Yeah. So you might want to do a different type of heel.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about that.
So I will have to practice with my February yarn club.
Interesting.
Wow.
Huh.
So I have that and the sweater, and I think I have one more teeny tiny project to do in there, but that'll be like an end thing that I'll pop in because it's a gift. So
nice. Yep. Yeah. I have 2 sweaters to finish. which I feel like I'm kind of on the downhill side of that. And for viewers that are wondering about that, before we do any cutting of sweaters, we are going to cut our sample swatch. And I'll have a video separate for the steeking of that. And we're going to do that before we cut the actual sweater, just so, people have a little practice. They're not going to wig out about it. Then I have the cable trellis shawl that I showed you. I always have some socks on the needles, regardless, because, that's what you knit when you go to the doctor's office with your aging parents or wherever.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we were doing the What's Your Story?
Yes.
Yeah, I still have.
Oh,
So my What's Your Story wrap is coming along. I chose to do the same lace motif this time. Okay, I've knitted one already, and that's the purple one that's on my Ravelry page. And then this was the one I was working on with the class that we did in November and a large part of December. But it got set aside for a minute while I'm doing the sweaters, obviously. But you can see.
Oh, Jana, look at that.
And it's giant. It's not blocked or anything. It's massive. And so this is this lace motif is
so pretty.
I forget what it's even called. Honestly, that's not helpful.
No.
But it's big. Yeah.
Wow.
So this is going to be a schlinket.
That will be fantastic. And those colors look really good on you too.
Thanks.
Yeah. When you have
now that I've gone gray, I can pretty much wear anything that isn't white or gray. Because then, if I wear something like that, it's just like, oh yeah, I'm ghastly.
I wore my cozy winter. Actually, you had your cozy winter on in, I don't know which episode.
I don't know, but it's a darker gray than yours, I think. So I can kind of get away with that because it's darker.
No, but I saw it. I'm like, oh, the cozy winter. And I took mine out and I wore mine.
Oh yeah, you wore it to knit night the other night.
Yep. And then I wore it to work the next day. I tucked it up under my coat and it was toasty. And then when I was at work, I put it on my lap because I sit in front of a window and it gets kind of breezy and a little bit chilly. Had it on my lap. It was perfect.
Love it.
I know. It was perfect.
My mother often would wear a ruana. Do you know what that is?
No, I don't.
Okay. A ruana is I'm not sure what country it originates from. I want to say it's a South American kind of a wrap thing. I have to Google that. It's Ruana.
Okay.
That's how you spell that. But it's basically a giant rectangle that has a slit for your neck.
Oh, wow.
So it's the actual schlanket. Because it's just a rectangle that has a parting for your neck. And so the reason that's so cool is because you can take it off and it is a perfect rectangle. So you can fold it and use it like, I don't know, if you're at a meeting and the chairs are really hard, you can sit on it or use it like a lap blanket or a shawl or put it back on like it's meant to be worn. Yeah. So basically it's just this long rectangle and then you just like fling one end over, Yeah.
I know.
I want to make one of those. I might make one of those. Yeah. I have so much I want to knit and so little time.
I had a bit of a break from regular work over Christmas and I thought, oh my goodness, I just really need to be doing this more often.
Yes. Makes you look forward to retirement, doesn't it?
It does. Oh my goodness. It was fun.
You and I are a ways away from retirement, however.
We are. That's about it for me.
I guess that's about it for me too, except for I have all these mini skeins. I have no idea what I'm going to do with. There's a lot of possibilities, however. Yeah. So I think you were talking about socks for your Anne of Green Gables set. Mm-hmm. And I think, the national parks ones that I did.
Yes.
It's not like there's 27 of them that necessarily would be a set.
Right.
Many of them are complementary. Mm-hmm. And then there's some that are completely different. Like there's a set of 3 that they sort of kind of go together, that set of 3. But then, so what I'm considering doing, if there's a set of 3 that goes together and they're approximately 85 yards or 20 grams a piece, that would be 240-ish. So I might do a stripey thing like that and then just add a solid color that would pull it all together. And then I could do stripey socks with a solid You see what I mean?
Fun.
Because a fingering weight, 240, 250 yards is not enough for socks and fingering weight. Yeah, I'd have to have a solid to, just have the yardage. I don't know. Because I'm not sure what else. I mean, I could do a cowl. I don't know if a 250 yards is enough for a beanie, but socks would be good. Socks would be good, especially if I had a solid to go with it. And I have many solids, so I might do that.
I think the planning is sometimes as much fun as the casting on and starting. Because when you're planning, it can be almost anything.
Yeah. Cool. We have lots to do. It makes you feel blessed to have choices and options.
Very, very much so.
Yes. I can't believe it's already mid-January 2022. We might have to, you did the yarn stash, de-stash, all that. Wow.
I had so much fun. I did. I had a ball.
Tell us about your new Instagram.
I like to take pictures of yarn. So I have an Instagram where I can just take pictures of yarn. That's really all it is. I don't care if I don't have anybody following me.
But you take really good pictures of yarn.
It is so much fun.
It is fun.
Pictures of yarn. So
that's your new hobby. I'm a yarn photographer. That's your retirement job.
Well, they say that, collecting yarn and knitting with yarn are two separate hobbies. I really kind of think photographing yarn could be one.
Could be a third. What would be your 2-minute elevator speech if you were a yarn photographer?
If I was a yarn photographer. Hello, my name is Jill. I can be found at Kitchen Table Knits. The best things happen around the kitchen table. True. Pictures of yarn. I believe, and I seriously do, I believe that yarn tells a story.
Yeah.
And there's so many memories attached in it too. And that's what I love about it. I love those Instagram photos of yarn.
So people can follow you at Kitchen Table Knits.
Yep.
I think that's perfect because often when we have knit night, you're at your kitchen table.
Where the best stuff happens all the time.
True. It's true.
It really is. I know knitting makes me think of this community. And then, when Lindsay and I would knit, we'd be at my kitchen table, like all of that stuff is there.
Yeah.
So
that's fine. And like when you go to your local yarn shop, they have a big kitchen table. That's what they have. So that's pretty awesome. So everybody can go follow Jill. Links down below.
I'll just take pictures of yarn.
Yeah. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It was so much fun.
Yes, it's good to have you back.
Yes.